J.K. Rowling has been under severe scrutiny from the woke left for several years now over her views on transgender issues. In my view, this backlash is wildly disproportionate and frankly ridiculous. Much of it comes from online virtue signaling activists who seem to spend their lives policing language and harassing people on the internet. It's pathetic. I don't agree with everything Rowling believes. She's a feminist, and I strongly oppose feminism. I also believe that adult transsexuals have the right to transition and live as they choose. This is not a black and white issue, despite how desperately both sides want it to be. Two trans YouTubers who discuss this topic intelligently and without hysteria are Blair White and Marcus Debb. They're open-minded, grounded, and not swayed by woke ideology. I take a broadly trans-medicalist stance. Gender dysphoria is real, but the topic has been aggressively politicized. The right often reacts with hostility, while the left dominates the cultural narrative by smearing anyone who raises even mild criticism as a bigot. A transsexual woman is not the same as a biological woman. This is a factual statement, not a moral one. It's like the difference between someone who dyes their hair brown and a natural brunette. Acknowledging biological reality does not justify cruelty towards trans people, nor does it mean we should restructure society, medicine, and language around a small minority. As someone who has struggled with mental illness myself, I genuinely empathize with people suffering from gender dysphoria. I can't imagine how distressing it must be. I recommend reading The End of Gender by Dr. Deborah So, which approached the subject scientifically and compassionately. She is not anti-trans, she is anti-ideology, anti-child indoctrination, and anti-pseudoscience. From a biological perspective, sex is binary. It is defined by gametes, male sperm and female eggs. When a sperm and egg fuse together, hormones are secreted in the womb that create the immersion of one's gender identity. If the fetus is male, testosterone will become secreted from the testes. If the fetus is female, this does not occur. This is basic biology. Sex and gender were historically interchangeable terms until the mid-20th century, when psychologist John Money performed a horrendous experiment where a young boy named David Reimer was socialized as a girl after a botched circumcision. Alfred Kinsey was also an influence in the concept of gender fluidity and sexual fluidity. This is called social constructionism, and it has no basis in science. Modern gender theory grew out of the same postmodern framework, later advanced by figures like Judith Butler. It rejects objective reality in favor of subjective identity. Ironically, many who call themselves pro-science now defend ideas that are entirely theoretical and unfalsifiable. Gender is a fact. It is based on biology and evolution, not your personal feelings. It is not a fluid thing that can change. Believing that there are infinite genders is no more scientific than believing that vaccines cause autism or that climate change is fake. Yet we're told this belief system is beyond question. Giving children puberty blockers is dangerous and unethical. We don't allow minors to vote, drink alcohol, get married, or undergo cosmetic surgery. So why are we permitting irreversible medical interventions based on feelings that may not last? The amount of propaganda around this issue is staggering, and anyone who raises concerns is instantly labeled a transphobe. Now, I do understand people have a right to believe in whatever they want, but they shouldn't be pushing it onto others. Those who identify as non-binary or gender fluid are pushing for the entire reshaping of the English language. We have a minority of confused people wanting the entirety of Western society to change for them based on their subjective delusions. This is highly narcissistic. Wokeism, feminism, and modern leftism operate like a religion. We should be able to have serious, rational discussions about sex, gender, and mental health. Instead, we get slogans and moral bullying. I had psychosis 2 years ago. I believe things that were seriously untrue. When one person has delusions, we treat it clinically. When a group shares them, we call it an ideology. A lot of people suffering from gender dysphoria are also likely dealing with other psychological issues. That's not an insult, it's a concern. Contemporary gender ideology is absurd and in some cases, dangerous. I respect J.K. Rowling for defending biology and free speech despite the backlash. If someone asks me to use certain pronouns, I will do so out of basic politeness, but I don't agree with the underlying belief system. These ideas are explored in my dystopian novel Tic-Tac-Toe, which imagines a future where men are second-class citizens. You can find it linked in the cards or in the description. Do you agree or disagree with J.K. Rowling? Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more content.